Kunle, how are you doing?
Yeah, hi. Hi, Durell.
Great to hear. Yeah,
Very well,
yeah. We had
very
to do this
well.
around this time because it's a bit of a time difference in in Africa, in Lagos, Nigeria. So
Lagos, Nigeria.
I wanted to just
Absolutely.
thank you, man, for jumping on this call. And I don't do enough of this stuff where we talk to my colleagues around the world, but I just wanted to have a conversation about what is it that you're doing and our partnership and exciting things that you have going on over at Tune Afrique. Can you hear me? Kunle, can you hear me? I don't know if you can hear me. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you
Okay.
now. I can hear you now, Durell. There seems to be an echo and a delay, but it looks like it
Okay,
just
you can
got
hear me
better
now?
now. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, I was saying,
Yeah,
I
very
don't
well.
get a chance to, I don't do this as often as I should, but I just wanted to kind of share and talk to the people. We have a few people on here about just the exciting things that you're doing over at Tune Afrique and what you're doing not only for African artists but artists all over the world.
Yeah, thanks, Durell. There seems to be some
Okay,
kind of feedback
do I need to
coming.
put headphones on?
Like, to, no, there is a 20-second. I can hear you now, but there is a playback of about 20 seconds delay still coming on the feed. I can hear you right now. Okay, so I think
Oh man.
there
Okay.
it goes again. Now, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm
Okay.
gonna log out and log in again.
Okay. Cool. Let's do that. I'm gonna delete. Okay. Hey guys, like when you're dealing with technology, you gotta be able to deal with these type of things, but it's worth it. Tanisha, how you doing? Comment, let me know if you're here, if you're just joining right now. You want to get this right. you know. Kyle, what's up, man? How you doing? Facebook just brought back. Here we go. Ah, now it looks different. There you go. How about now?
Now much better. Hi, how you doing?
Good. How you doing? Now, yeah. Cool. So, yeah, man. I just want to talk about some of the great things that you're doing over at Tune Afrique and with Africa's first DIY platform. I think it's amazing what you're doing, and it's about what we have going on, and why it's important to be global. So I just want to start the conversation by saying, kind of how we connected. We connected through Me and Me is so important because it allows a lot of relationships to build. And a lot of times when you go to events like that, I tell people all the time that when you want to be global, you got to go to events so people know you exist. You know,
Yeah.
so yeah, man, I was really excited to get a chance to hear from, to get a chance to get connected with you and your company and what you guys are doing. It's great things going on.
Yeah, thank you very much, Durell, for the great intro and for Tuna Freak and myself. Yes, we did meet and meet them, and I think this is a very clear example of how the digital transformation has bridged the gap. Can you hear me well?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, how digital transformation has bridged the gap in terms of networking and leveraging on opportunities. Yes, we've been Tune Afrique. First of all, is uh, like you rightly said, a DIY, and I think it's the first from Africa. Where we put the power in the hands of, the content creators, aggregators, to deliver on, Tune Afrique deals, and of course also in some cases, direct deals. So today we find, young independent artists and even labels continue to find the services very, you know, uh, attractive because it creates solutions. So we are purely a solution-based organization where we continue to look for ways to connect, artists, the music to the fans, and you know how we do, right?
Absolutely. I mean, I think that's incredible because Africa is a market where I think a lot of people don't realize it's a very rich place. Meaning, there's so much content, so much opportunities there in the market, right? And I knew for a long time when I started working globally that I wanted to get into the African market. I knew right away that I wanted to get into that, and I was looking for the right partnership that was going to allow me to do that. And I'm just really excited about what we were working on. When you first connected, and I was talking with you, with one of the people off your team, Emmanuel, good guy. We talk all the time on WhatsApp. And initially, you know, when I told him what I wanted to do, he's like, "Oh, okay, well, you want a certain type of a different type of situation than what what you guys usually do." Because I knew that I wanted to be the vehicle for the artists. I want to be the vehicle to help artists expand globally because a lot of what I believe in my brand is helping artists build a core. And when you build a core, you be global, because these days, like you said, in the digital space, your fans might not be in your backyard, you know, they might be other parts of the world. And the way you get to those fans, able to go into different markets. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I
Did
can
I-
hear you.
Okay, yeah, you have to be able to you have to be able to, okay, we got some of your people here. Okay. um, you got you got to be able to go into different markets to be able to do that. So when I saw this opportunity, I said, man, I gotta make something happen here. Uh-oh, we lost him. I think hopefully he'll be back. Again, technology. Um, hey guys, for those of you guys here, okay, approve, adding him. Kunle. Okay. Yes, I
Yeah,
can hear you.
Durell.
I can hear you.
Can you hear me now? No, I just lost you for a
Oh,
second, but
okay.
I was hearing
Okay.
every
No
single
problem.
thing you were saying.
Yeah. So, you know,
Absolutely.
so what made you decide to want to create Tune Afrique?
So I think the first step is to
Okay.
describe really what Tune Afrique is. Tune Afrique is a solution, like I said, for content creators, music, and even now
Oh, okay.
podcasts to help them monetize the music. So what we do is we have built the technology to help you, put digital fingerprints on your music and make them available to DSPs all over the world. When I say digital fingerprints, we're talking about ISRC, UPC codes, and of course also transcoding those music into formats that are acceptable by the
Right.
different DSPs all over the world. Um, and because there is an increase in streaming services also now in Africa, uh, so it becomes, a no-brainer that, music has to be made available to the different DSPs in the right formats that they are needed. That's just the first step. The second step, of course, then is to be able to help you, collect your royalties and make those payments. When you look at the solution, then you can understand the reasons behind why, we went in to build this kind of technology, just to help content creators, artists, to solve, um, you know, uh, their uh, challenges of monetizing music. And I can say for free that Tune Afrique is that one tool that helps you to be able to put that product, which is music, on the shelves of different DSPs and get paid directly in your bank for doing that. So what made us create this? Of course, there's been a lot of investments into the creative sector, with different investments into labels and artists. And there used to be this kind of, gray line in terms of how do you monetize music? How do labels and artists make money off the solutions into being? And the unique things about Tune Afrique again is yes, we don't support artists and creators only in Africa, but of course also Durell, you are in Florida, right?
Yes.
And we got a lot of other content providers from all over the globe who use our services to put their music in the right places as far as distribution goes. And I'm sure we're going to talk
Right.
about
Right.
promotion as we go
I,
on.
I think I think that's amazing. I think that is amazing because that's just the way music is consumed now with streaming and with um the way that music is just again so global. I think because here's the truth, there's people. It doesn't cost that much to make the music anymore. You know what I mean? It doesn't cost that much to do that. So at this point, like I said, that's why it's about finding those markets, finding those spaces that people will be open to your music. And I can speak for America. I can speak for once you start to become global, right? There's different opportunities come into play. The people when you go across the pond, as we like to say, opportunities present themselves. You know, um, people,
Absolutely.
especially if you're speaking in a different language, think about music. You can feel it. It feels good, even if you don't understand what they're saying. This is why music. You can go anywhere in the world, and if they can't, even if they can't speak the actual language, they can still remember your lyrics because it made but the way it made them feel, right? So um, that's the beautiful thing about being global is that people are open to different type of things. I mean, sometimes, unfortunately, here in America, we only want to hear the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over again. And so, for independent artists who may be doing something a little bit different, it's a little bit harder for them to get heard because they're not doing what everybody else is doing. So, it's platforms like yourself, markets like what you're doing in Africa is why I think it's super important now for artists to be able to get involved with your company and with what you're doing. Um, would you agree?
Oh, definitely, Durell. I absolutely agree with you. So the concept I often use is to say, 10, 15 years down the line, you need to walk into a record store, to select one CD for, about, 4.99,
Right.
$5, $10, right? Today you carry a record store in your pocket because it's on your mobile phone, and you have access to all the catalogs, on a streaming platform just for a monthly subscription. And so this is where you want to be right now. And when we look at how difficult it is for users to find the right music on a streaming platform that
Yeah.
has 50 million records, for example, you need first of all to be present,
Yes.
and then you need visibility on those platforms. So yes, if your users and your fans go there look for your music, they
Right.
find it. But that's because they're your fans, right? They go look for it. So that's presence. Now you need visibility because then also beyond just being present, you also want to be in the limelight and get the right attention. So this is where technology begins to make it much easier. And I'm sure you've seen the recent data coming out from the billboards saying the big streamers are no longer coming from the big labels. So now anybody could be a star just by being present and getting the right
Absolutely.
visibilities on the streaming
Absolutely. I
services.
agree with you. So let's kind of go into a little bit about promotion. Like, so what sets Tune Afrique apart different from some of the other platforms that are doing digital distribution? I personally know what's going on, but for the people who are watching this, what are you guys doing that's a little bit different that actually makes sense for an artist to want to upload and go through your platform? By the way, guys, you know it does cost money. This platform, if you want to upload to Tune Afrique, there is a cost associated with that. Okay, um, but you are going to get some great things that come along with that.
Yeah, thanks, Durell, for that question. So usually we like to separate
Right,
distribution and promotion. So distribution is you,
right,
just paying and
right.
getting your music there. Um, like I said earlier, we are a solution-based organization, and we continue to look for ways to create solutions for independent artists, record labels. So the best way to create solution is to understand the problems, and the best way to understand the problem is to experience the problem. These are problems we have experienced in the past. The holy grail of music distribution and promotion. So, but today, because of the kind of services we offer, on the one hand, we're able to help artists to get the right content, the right metadata for their music. One of the big things in terms of competing in that big ecosystem is getting the right metadata to identify music. So if your music is hip hop, if it's R&B, if it is pop, we need to be able to identify music in the right category, because with that it makes it a lot easier to also pitch this contents to the right segments and to the right people. So what we've done over the last couple of years is to leverage those channels that allows us to pitch our music to different playlists and carousels and different DSPs around the world. Like, now you're going beyond just presence, but also tapping on visibility on the one hand. We also recognize that, there is a very thin line between the artist
Yes,
and the music,
yes,
which is the product, right? So sometimes artists struggle to understand which one am I pushing. Am I pushing the brand,
right,
the artist, or pushing the product? The
right,
truth is, the product brings the money. So, yeah, but you need to push the product. When the brand gets recognition, what happens is, yes, then both of them grow together. And with that in mind, we've also been able to support artists in terms of getting radio plays, because here we see a lot coming in, to now pushing the brand directly. As well as pushing the product. So when these two synergize together over time, you begin to see us throughout, world-class artists with, uh, a build-up of fans and followership. So beyond the playlist pitching and all the rest, there's also the radio airplays, where today we plug into as many radios as possible. So you see artists who um, relatively unknown just came up with a new record last Friday, and bang, he's played on 5 radios, and bang, the music is on all DSPs, on Apple Music, Spotify, Deezer, Tidal, Boomplay, Me Playlist, and all sorts of DSPs. So this artist are getting mad visibility almost for nothing. Of course, there is a fee, but it's negligible when you compare it to, and I'm sure you can tell, Durell, even for artists based in the US, the fee and the level of professionalism and response you get
absolutely,
is very
absolutely.
attractive, right?
Everything you said you're going to do, you've done it. um, and that's what I'm excited about. When we put the first release in a few days ago, and immediately, like it's on radio already. You know what I mean? And it was like, wow, and the blog feature, the playlist pitching, and again, like you said, most distributors don't have to do these things. It's not their job. The job of a distributor is to simply make the music available. Now, promotion is separate from distribution, you know? And so, yeah, people got to really understand that.
Absolutely.
You know, when you put when you go through DistroKid and you put your music, or United Masters and you put your music through these platforms, they don't have to promote you. They just have to make it available in the stores, and it's there, But nobody's gonna know about it because it's just sitting there. So the fact that you
It's just
guys
that.
are doing social media promotion, sponsor posts, you know, graphic posts, playlist pitching, blog features, like all these things are uh, 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 um, ultimately going to lead to, like you said, visibility. And visibility is the most important thing. Obviously, if we're not in COVID times, what I love about that is what we want to turn that into is shows, is touching the people, right? That's really what obviously this is why I wanted to do direct deals, right? So let me get a little bit into why I wanted to even do direct deals, because I you can go through like the orchard or something like that, and I have too, but the reason why I'm doing direct deals in the marketplace is because I'm really concerned about the marketing and promotion, and then we could eventually touch the people, because ultimately that's what matters, right? The music is great, the radio play is great, but when you can get out there and touch the people, that's gonna lead to the real money, the real opportunities to create different revenue streams, which we don't have time to get into right now because we'll be here forever. But um, to me,
Yeah.
that's why I wanted to start doing these direct deals, is because I want to be able to eventually, and I'm sure you can help with this, promoters. Again, assuming we can travel, because right now Americans can't go anywhere outside of America. But when we get back to having the freedom to travel again, I want to be able to go to the festivals and go to the events in Nigeria, and have the opportunities for my clients to be able to touch other places. And when they see that their music is being received well in these other markets, it ultimately leads them back to what this is all about: building an audience of supporters. Fans like your music. I could be a fan of your music all day, but when I start to support your music, support what it is you're doing, I'm spending money, because one of the hard things to do for a lot of artists, this, Kunle, is selling hard tickets. Anybody can go stream your song, right? But when you can set, when they go buy a T-shirt, when they go buy a ticket to something you're doing, now
Merchandise.
they're showing the support that they really believe in what you're doing. And that's what we're trying to get to. That's where I want every artist that I work with to be able to get the fans, the supporters, to support them, so that they can start to generate a revenue, so they can make a living doing this. It ain't about being the biggest artist in the world. I think one of the things I talk about with artists is forget trying to be the biggest artist in the world. It's too many. You know what I mean? But if you can find your pocket, if you can find your audience, you can do just fine. you know?
No, yeah, I fully agree with you, Durell. Today, one of the big things I say to the artist is you need to have a digital fingerprint, um, if you like it or not. So, what COVID has taught us today, um, for real, is digital definitely plays a big role in how we will transact going forward. So if you already understand that yes, digital plays a big role, then the first thing you need to do is have that digital fingerprint as an artist. And so when people go there and they look for you, they can find you. Um, and of course, there's a whole different, conversation around digital marketing and how, artists should begin to
Right,
look at themselves as brands and how they can grow. So they can also build their own followership, email newsletters, and a fan base that they can
right,
easily communicate with. It's a lot of work, and why Tune Afrique is here is today to make these things a lot easier for artists to be able to pretty much create their own music business,
right.
in one tool. We're not quite there yet. Are we making progress? Phenomenal progress. Are we able to do more? By all means, we can. And with the support of people like you, Durell, we have no doubt that we'll continue to touch lives and make changes and make things that were almost
Right.
impossible, a few years ago, easy and
Absolutely.
possible to achieve
Absolutely. I
today.
think, like I said, I mean, now the beautiful thing about the music industry, okay, as a whole, right, is that now you don't have to fit into a major record label's bubble. If they don't, a lot of times when you needed a label, and I'm not against labels at all, but the truth is, there's just not enough. There's not enough labels. Kunle, there's just not enough labels. So most of these
Yeah.
artists are going to be independent artists. They just are. You know what I mean? So when you look at pre-digital, right? If you had to fit into the the bubble or the vision of what that label could do, if they didn't understand your vision, they wasn't going to sign.
Most of these
They
artists
weren't going to
are going
sign
to be
you
in the.
and put any money behind you, right? So the beautiful thing about the digital space now is that you get to create whatever it is you want to create and find the people that are going to support that. So that makes it much easier for those different or abstract type of artists that we're not used to seeing all the time. But if they can go build a following, they can be successful on their own terms. And that's the beautiful thing about the ecosystem today. So
No, so by all means, today it's not impossible. You know, um, a relatively unknown artist who's making a very great living just from monetizing music. So previously this was difficult or almost impossible to do. And I can give you instances like, in the less developed countries where the systems
right,
and copyright laws are not as
right,
robust as what you have. You see that it's the other way around. The artist makes the record, he makes the music, and he's spending his hard-earned money to just
right,
get the music this far. And that used to be in the past. Today it's the other way around. Today, by putting your music available on some stores, you know now you get paid for your music being consumed, and this is what technology allows us to do. So if you're paying attention to the digital space, you can tell already that yeah, in the next couple of years, that a handful of artists and creators, if they understand how to connect in this space, will definitely then be able to monetize music appropriately and get a good living, minimally from music. Of course, there's so much conversation on how much a stream will cost and how much I can make from, is it sustainable? Yeah, that's why you're an artist, because you have to continue making new records. And the more records you make, the more fans you have, the more
right.
momentum you gather in the digital space. And it's a long term, it's a long journey. It's not a
Right.
sprint. It's not a 100-meter race.
Absolutely.
It's a long
Absolutely.
distance
I,
race.
I,
So
I
you have to
always tell
keep at it and
people
be consistent.
that music is a long play. If you want to if you want music to pay your bills, if you want to do this for a living, then you have to understand you're building something for a long period of time. If you just want to make music as a hobby and it's therapeutic for you, I would much rather you do it that way because you're going to be much less stressed out. But if you want to do, but if you want to do this for to make a living, because it's a difference. If you're just some people are just making music because it's therapy, it's healing. They have thoughts that they want to express and they want to get it out, so they record, and that's totally fine. But the minute you decide that you now want to pursue this as a career, your whole mentality has to be different. You know, so like you said, you have to treat this like a business. You have to understand that you have to make certain investments and that you may not see the return on right away. You know, and but that does not mean that you stop. It just means that you got to continue to plant the seeds. You know, and water those seeds and they grow over time. You know, so that's the beautiful thing about about the space of media today. Look, everybody has a shot. The internet, everybody, the playing field is level. Whatever it is you want to do, if you put in enough work, you have the ability to do what you want to do, and nobody can tell you you can't. No, nobody can tell you you can't because
Nah.
you have the internet. You got the internet. But the problem is most artists don't know how to market and promote themselves. They don't. Kunle, they don't know what their messaging is. They don't know what their brand identity is. All these things when I work with artists, those are some of the first things we talk about because those are the things that's going to matter. If you don't know what your brand position is, then you don't know how to talk to your audience. You know what I mean? You got to know that type of thing. You got to know these things. As much as the music is great, if you don't know these other ancillary pieces to what it is you're trying to do, then you're gonna have a very hard time attracting and retaining an audience that will ultimately want to spend with you, right? So that's why it's important, man. But man, Kunle, man, I want to thank you for your time. I know we told we are gonna keep this, short and sweet, but I'm excited, guys. If you guys, I'm an aggregator with Tune Afrique. So if you guys are interested in putting music out, in the African markets, and I put the music out on just in the African DSP. So whatever you have released on the other platform isn't going to affect what we're doing over here and with Tune Afrique. So any old music is new to the market. People that never seen you before. I always tell artists all the time that don't worry. They're like,
Absolutely.
well, wait till I got something new. Ain't nobody heard it. If they haven't heard it, it's new. A lot of artists
It's
do
new
that
to
all the time.
them.
They're like, well, I'm working on a new project. Well, if you got five other old projects that ain't nobody that this market in Africa has never heard before, it's brand new to
It's new to
them.
them.
So I mean, I laugh when people tell me that. Oh man, I'm working like no, like if you got something that's ready to go now, that is quality, and you have assets, like let's not wait. Let's figure it out. Let's get it done. So, um,
Let me give this to you in a
okay,
very nice analogy. It's like saying, you have a new, product, and because you already have your product in Walmart, because a new store opens, you don't want to put your product in the new store. It doesn't make any sense,
no,
right? So you need to be everywhere with all your content. You need to make sure when people go to platforms and look for you, they find you. And it's easy today to do because with one payment, with one button, you can deliver your music anywhere in the
yes, it's
world and
it's a
make it
beautiful thing.
available.
So, Kun, I want to thank you for your time. Um, we're excited. We got the first release live. We got some more coming very soon. Like radio play going on right now. Shout out to Mafia Music. His song "Hair on Fire" was the first release, doing really well. I'm excited about that. Excited to bring many, many more artists to the African market. And like I said, ultimately getting to where we can travel, and go to these other places to touch. The more we can touch the people, the better it is, and we can create real support. But the fact that you're getting FM radio play on radio is major. That's major. But it's very hard to get. Especially here in America, it's very hard to get FM radio. To give you some perspective on that, if you wanted to run a national campaign, right, on one single on FM radio, you're looking at about $100,000 US. So that's how expensive it is to go to FM radio. So most of the time here, we go to digital radio first. You know, uh, Shout out to my man Landy. Landy is a great artist. He's an R&B guy, pop R&B artist, really, really great. So, man, Landy, let's definitely talk. I can help get you into the market in Africa, but no, but we can go to places like Nigeria and places like that. Can you talk a little bit about real quick before we go? Me Playlist is the only black-owned streaming platform. Am I right?
Yeah, me playlist is a new brainchild that's come out from the several things we're currently doing here in Africa, and me playlist is a music streaming platform that's 100% black owned, and I would say about me playlist, think about the other big streaming platforms on the same kind of level. We just had some massive you know um, investments from big music players. Everyone knows
Absolutely.
Matthew Knowles, Beyonce's father. Absolutely, Matthew and Michael K. Kiladejo, also on our team. So we're trying to try out some real massive stuff out there. So this is massive. This is big, and you're gonna be hearing some hot news off the press pretty soon in terms of what my playlist is
That
capable
is
of doing
wonderful, guys. That
in the
is
near future.
wonderful. By a black-owned streaming platform, and this is not knocking everybody else, but this is just as two black entrepreneurs on this Facebook Live, it's a beautiful thing to be able to know that we have a black-owned streaming platform that is showcasing music, that is giving you a chance to be heard to people internationally. So that's amazing. That is absolutely amazing. So glad to be a part of that and be contributing to uh, what We Play This is doing. So I'm excited. So like I said, it's been we're going now for about 45 minutes. So unless there's any questions, I don't think we have any. Is there any questions that anybody has? I think I think most people are your people that joined on here. That's awesome. That's awesome, though. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
I got my friends out here. Quite. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I see you, Soji Alayo. Yeah, Soji is a very big live entertainment artist.
yes.
Plays live
Let's talk.
music
And
in
real
the
quick, let's talk
UK.
about
Yeah,
like you
yeah.
said, the importance of collaboration and collaborate. Because I think that's a major key. Oh, okay, that's my partner, Tyrone Ty Horton. What's going on? That's my brother right there. Um, and he's involved. Actually, he's part of my team, Kunle. So he's actually involved in the. He had access to people, but he works personally. He works personally
Right,
with me, so
right,
that's
right,
why.
right. I,
Yeah, he even has access to that. But yes.
I
So
remember him. I
we
remember
can
him.
talk real quick about collaborations. Is that something? I know with you and I, we talked about that. Even and for full disclosure, guys, Me and Kunle have a special relationship. The deal that he's given me, he does not give to everybody. So this is the importance of building a relationship. You know, um, I can't stress that enough. This whole industry is based off relationships. And I haven't shared this story publicly, and I'm going to share it publicly because I don't really care the person. So I don't really care if he hears this. It's whatever it is. So I had a gentleman, Kunle, reach out to me about getting into the market, African market, and he came to me and he wanted to, and I told him, okay, if you're going to work with me, there's going to be a cost to that. So what he tried to do was go around me and go directly to you, not understanding that the situation that I have is better than any situation he could possibly get on his own. But because he's trying to nickel and dime his way, you can't do that in this business. You can't nickel and dime your way to success. It's not going to work. If you're going to do this, you got to do it. you know, so
Spot on.
so you know, he tried to go around me and go directly to you, not understanding that you and I have something in place solid that will be more beneficial to him in the long run than trying to feel like he can go around me, and he tried to like throw it in my face that he can go around. I said, no, bro, go do you. Look.
Yeah.
I don't want to work with people like that. If you don't see the value in what I do, understand that I'm in business just like the next person's in business, and there's a cost that comes with that, then you're not somebody I want to work with anyway.
Yeah.
If you can't see the value in what I do and the relationships that I have, then I would much rather you just go do your own thing anyway. You'll probably fail, but that's not my problem. you know what I mean? So, so, but
Now, you asked a very important question, Durell, about collaboration. And what I always say to everybody is, you can't clap with one hand. Now, so let's
right,
reason, just think about that for a minute. You need to clap with two hands, and the more hands that are clapping, the louder the noise is. So you can have all the best solutions. So what we see Tune Afrique has created has been very easily segmented into the B2B
okay,
category and the B2C categories. So when we're talking about the B2C, we're
right,
talking about the business to customers, where the working indies can easily do here, distribute and do stuff. Of course, they still get a bit of leverage, but then it's different when you're talking to the experts. The expert in this case now is where we offer the B2B, business to business solutions. The experts already have, an existing music business kind of going on. We only bring additional solutions
right.
to those experts like you. So, will the artists benefit from going through people like you, like aggregators? By all means they will, because beyond the fact that they're only just putting the music out there, they're also leveraging the additional opportunities and additional negotiations you've had already with the
Right.
service provider, which is Tune Afrique in this case. So collaborations are very critical in terms of getting there faster. There is a very popular saying that says, if you want to get there faster, go alone. If you want to get there,
Right.
something, you go with people. So we know we really need to get with the right team to give us the right level of impact. So today, like I said earlier, on the one hand, we offer the B2C, which is business to customers, and that's available globally. And we got quite a lot of users who use the service across the globe. The other day, we had users from Trinidad and Tobago, uploading their content and putting them all across the world. But for aggregators like you, Durell, then we have the business solutions, and these solutions are bespoke to your kind of business that gives the artists even more leverage based on additional benefits and negotiations you have. So it's a no-brainer that collaborations definitely going to take us very far. When you look at the radio plugins we do today, that's also an example of how
Right.
collaborations opens more doors, and allows us to give more value to our customers by virtue of additional deals we bring to the table, and how our users still been able to access unbelievable platforms
I
just
think
through
that's
using our
amazing.
services.
That's amazing. And that's a great place to end. So like I said, I think we covered quite a bit today. Um, and but maybe later on we could do another a part two to this conversation. But I just want I just wanted to thank you for your
Anytime,
time.
brother.
And like I said, we're here to provide a vehicle. Provide a vehicle for independent creatives to go other parts of the world to see that fans. There's the opportunity to build fans everywhere. And the goal is not to get signed to a record company. The goal should not
Yeah.
be getting signed to a record company. Let me say it again. The goal should not be getting signed to a record company. The goal for every independent artist out there is to build a community. Because once you build a community, all those other things that you want, i.e., you have leverage when you have a community. When you can show them that I'm making money without you guys. Now we're talking about a partnership. A partnership is much different from just getting a regular record deal. You know, so you want to be able to have leverage, and the only way you can do that is to have real data that shows you have a real audience that's willing to spend money with you, and all over the world. And this is the beautiful thing. So I want to thank you for your time, and we are going to do this again real, real soon.
It's a pleasure being here, Durell. So you can always count on me anytime you need
I
me.
appreciate it, Kunle.
You
Thank you
got
so
me.
much. Have a great day. All right.
Take care, brother.
Hey guys, so that was my colleague and friend Kunle, founder of Tune Afrique, doing a great, amazing thing, guys. I want to thank you guys for jumping in on this call, on this conversation, and yeah, it's just fun. And hopefully, you guys, whoever are watching the replay, and you guys already know who I am, but I should have said this at the beginning. My name is Durell Peart. I'm the founder and CEO of Double M Management Marketing Group, and I help independent artists, you know, gravitate through this crazy thing we call the music business. So if you're watching the replay, thank you for your support. If you're interested in getting distribution through Africa, please reach out to me privately and we can discuss that. The prices are very fair and we're very professional. And if you're serious about it, I'm only interested in working with people who are serious about doing this stuff, understanding that comes with a cost and making an investment in yourself. I'm here to help you. So I want to thank you guys and have a great day. Take care.